And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester. With me is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, it is Sunday, June 5th. Tonight is Hell in a Cell. How are you doing Sunday?
Brad, I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful Sunday here. The pay-per-views this weekend, or premium live events, I should say. Forgive me for that.
Yeah. Egregious.
Really snuck up on me. In your house, I watched it. I know I texted you about it. I said, bro, are we going to compare notes on this? And do you want to share with our listeners and viewers what you said?
The short version is absolutely not. I will not be watching.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
I watched that. Haven't seen NXT 2.0 in forever. I think since Stand and Deliver, actually, their last big event. And then in terms of Hell in a Cell, the card is not very inspiring to me. Although I will say, if Ali ends up winning the U.S. title in his hometown, that's a huge look. I think I said the card isn't that good, and yet I'm going to say these two matches should rule. And then the Raw triple threat, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. In no world does that match not rule and steal the show, right?
Yes, that's going to be that will be the one of the night. I think. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Go ahead.
It cannot be great. A little bummed that it's not main eventing. From what I've read and heard, it sounds like Cody versus Seth is going to.
It has to be. It has to. It's the only Hell in a Cell match on a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Right.
They need to stop this silly shit. Call it something else.
Box-like structure.
Makes me so upset. Like, why are you calling the whole pay-per-view Hell in a Cell when you have one Hell in a Cell match? Just let it be the match, and then you can put it wherever you want whenever you need to have a feud that ends.
Right.
Come on.
Well, let's roll with it, bro. Before we get into our usual AEW talk, and of course, I want to pass it to you and hear how you're doing. Don't let me forget. I feel so far removed from the weekly WWE product. I know that we have our house show Sunday, July 3rd, which I'm eagerly anticipating. I'm also, I don't know if I told you, Brad. I think I did, maybe even on air. I'm going to the SmackDown here at the Footprint Center.
No, I did not know.
With a former student and their dad. They invited me, so we're going to that. So point being, man, hopefully I'll be more plugged into the WWE product prior to that epic weekend in July, because right now occasionally I'll watch SmackDown before my Friday night Dateline Murder Mystery comes on. But other than that, I'm so out of it. I follow the Twitter discussion and the Twitter updates.
Yes.
But in terms of Raw, I haven't watched since maybe week 2 of Cody. Again, SmackDown is infrequent for me, but from what I hear and see from you, my dude, it sounds like Cody versus Seth might be the hottest story in all of pro wrestling, no?
Yeah, it's the only thing that I really pay attention to, though, because everything else just seems so unimportant. Or I'll turn it on and be like, wow, this is still happening. It's been 2 months, and this is still a feud that's happening. I know Creed, Xavier Woods, recently posted on Instagram or Twitter, I can't remember which one, that it's their 14th match against Sheamus and Butch and all. 14. Right. 14. That is absurd and terrible booking.
So yeah, it's just retreads, right? Friday after Friday, and all the parts are quality.
Yeah,
we got Sheamus, Pete Dunne, Drew McIntyre, 2/3 of the New Day. But like you said, when it's 14 times in such a short span,
yeah,
I'm just not inspired to watch the product.
And I don't mind them having like different combinations of guys doing like a one-on-one, a tag or whatever. We see that in AEW all the time. But they find a way to make it like, well, this is happening because X, or this is happening because Y. In WWE, it just sort of happens. And unless you're in the main spotlight, like they do a really good job with all the main eventers. I feel I can't say that the build for Bianca and Sasha last year was any kind of good, but I I feel like they have more time and attention spent on the main event belts, usually, at least more often than anything else, except the people that they give a lot of creative freedom to. Because what they're doing with Sammy is awesome. What they're doing with Kevin Owens is awesome. So I feel like those guys are really bringing it every week. I've been catching clips here and there and trying to watch the whole segments because honestly, there was how long was Liv in the ring waiting for somebody to show up? Like 20 minutes. I think the other night was the whole time between going out there, sitting in the ring, and then commercial break, and then waiting for people to come out. It just never happened. It was just dead air, basically. And it's hard to watch, especially after going into AEW, where it's just like they keep it moving. The match is over, boom, promo in the back, boom, something else, boom.
Especially on Rampage.
Holy shit! Yeah, Rampage is
just a 47-minute sprint, right?
All gas, no brakes. And I really appreciate. I don't know. I really appreciate that. And it's hard to go from that to something where it's just really slow and plodding because they have 3 hours to fill and they don't know how to fill it despite having just an absolute embarrassment of riches in terms of talent.
Well, let me ask you, because I haven't checked in with you on air, at least, about one of your favorites, Rhea Ripley, in a while. And really even just the whole Judgment Day trio, or as we affectionately call it, the House of Purple. I think we got that from Alex Pulowski of Fightful. Shout out to him. So it's Edge, Evil Edge. He got Damian Priest, and then he recruited Rhea Ripley, and they're facing Liv, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor at Hell in a Cell. What do you make of Judgment Day as the resident Rhea Ripley super fan, the biggest Rhea fan in my life? Are you happy with this? Do you think this is going to propel her to a spot worthy of her talent?
No, it sucks. All of it sucks. I hate it because it feels like a ripoff. It's not even that it's bad. It's that it feels so unoriginal in its presentation. It feels lazy. I don't know if that's the right word to use there, but like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get any of it. They're not the Brood. They're just bad. Like, what are they? I don't understand any of it.
What would you say for someone like bigger? Would you say for someone like me, who's not a very well-informed viewer at the moment, it's sort of half Brood, half House of Black?
No.
Or it's its own. Like, it's its own.
Entity. It's like half House of Black, half corporation. I don't know how else to describe it.
That's a hell of a duo.
But that's what it is. It's House of Black when they're wearing suits. Yes. It's Malachi. I think it's what Malachi was trying to do before he got the boot. To be honest with you,
when he's coming out wearing a suit as well.
I don't know. I haven't watched.
Okay.
I saw her unmask at the last date, and I was like,
yes,
we all saw it coming.
Right.
I just want her to be Rhea. Like, not bad guy Rhea, not good guy Rhea, just Rhea, just badass, kick your face in Rhea that she was in NXT. NXT Rhea was the best.
She's a great tweener.
Yes, dude, that's the Rhea that I loved. We haven't gotten that here. And I want to see her be successful because, I'm a huge mark for Rhea Ripley. She looks like a giant and she's 5'8". It will never
tallest 5'8" person in wrestling history.
It will never make sense to me.
No.
Not ever. I always think like, oh my God, she would look so small next to Jade. And that doesn't make sense to me.
No, I thought that lady was at least 6 feet or approaching. 5'11".
So did I. The boot heels, I think, probably do something with it because those are some thick boots.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's there. It's fine. It's pro wrestling. So we get, I can't say it's free pro wrestling because we got to pay for our cable services, but
and Peacock is
there.
Peacock and Bleacher Report are equal levels of frustration for me, man. I was trying to pull up NXT yesterday as we're recording this, like you said, on a Sunday. And it was just the same thing as Bleacher Report, just issues, the app not functioning well. Luckily, I got on it. Ultimately, I had to use my phone to stream it. But man, I don't know if it's because I'm on the $5 tier, Brad, instead of the 10. But my service on
No.
Peacock is absolutely abhorrent every time. I need them to do better.
I have the $10 plan, and it is. I have not. I watch it on my Xbox so that I can have it hooked up to my surround and all that stuff. Um, it is. It hasn't loaded in over a month. I haven't gotten it to just load. So I'll start it, and it'll just say Peacock forever.
Right? Yes.
It will
And
just simply
yellow
never turn
circle
on.
of death.
I
Yeah.
don't even get the yellow circle. It's just the logo,
Oh
and
man.
it just sits there like a turd, giving me hope. And it's like the other day I was trying to do it, and it was up there for like 25 minutes. I just wanted to see how long it would take before my whole damn system crashed. I don't know what the fix is, but it's really pissing me the f off that I can't log into this streaming service so I could watch old stuff back when the product was really good. Or really, what I want to do is watch stuff for back in the day. So,
Right. Yeah, you're a historian, a student of the game, if you will.
yeah, but I can't get in there right now.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to some AWA stuff.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Well, I'll say this before we move forward. In terms of NXT, watching the show, I really thought about my feelings watching any WWE premium event when they leave it to the workers, to the wrestlers to go out and wrestle and tell a story. I tend to really enjoy it. It's weird. It's like, give me the NXT premium live events, but don't give me the weekly product. And it just, I went on Twitter and I saw that was a common sentiment. So I don't think I'm unique in this perspective, but when I just only tune into the live events, I fear that I'm not a well-informed podcast host for WWE, but I tend to enjoy the product more when it's just, oh yeah, these wrestlers are just given 15 to 20 minutes to wrestle. I don't have to see any stereotypical or misogynistic or, stereotypically racist segment in the back with Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. Like I could just watch, what was it? Carmelo Hayes and Cameron Grimes put on a banger, or even Mandy Rose and Wendy Chu had a fun match. But I want to ask you one more WWE related question since we're kicking off the ep with this. What are your thoughts on a Roman Reigns-less WWE at the moment? I know we see him once in a while, and his presence is kind of, watching over Mondays and Fridays, if you will. But to me, it seems like we really are in a new chapter now where Roman is seemingly a part-time heavyweight champion, and not even heavyweight, Brad. He is the undisputed champion. We have a pay-per-view with no sign of him whatsoever. And in the previous pay-per-view, correct me if I'm wrong, he was in a 6-man main event at Backlash. He didn't defend the title.
Yeah.
Do you have hope that coming down through the summer, maybe at SummerSlam, Cody gets the belt? Or what do you think about Roman Reigns, clearly their top wrestler, ushering into a new part of his career where we're not seeing him as often?
Who's the number 2?
I'm going to say Bianca. Men?
Yeah.
It's got to be Cody.
Who has a torn pectoral muscle?
I believe Cody Rhodes injured himself, right?
He's going to be out 3 to 6 weeks to 3 to 6 months, depending on if he needs surgery. He's wrestling tonight, but he's going to be down for a while. If it's a torn pec, he's going to.
Yeah, I didn't
it's
know
either. That. Oh yeah, it's.
I knew. I saw the Meltzer. I think my algorithm showed that you liked the quote, so thank you for that. Meltzer said he injured himself lifting, potentially, and now he like you said, he could be out several weeks. That's not good.
They're going to have to call Roman back up. They have done such a shit job of building any kind of star for contention for the title. The thing that I love about AEW is there's like 15 people that could challenge for the title at any given moment, because they're all like, oh shit, this match is going to be, oh wow, this match.
One of those dudes just returned this week. We'll get there.
Exactly. So, I think it's a terrible thing. I think it's a terrible idea. I think they really shot themselves in the foot. The only thing I can say, though, is Roman deserves a damn vacation after carrying the company for 2+ years.
That's the truth.
He just deserves some time off. So
that's the truth. That is the truth. They don't get an off season.
No, so I don't begrudge him at all for needed time away if that's what's going on or if he's injured. But I think it's a terrible play when the draw right now is Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, and Cody is on the shelf potentially. unless it's a work, but it doesn't sound like it is. Man, I don't know, man. But I can tell you that it will come up in a question later on. So let's get to
go.
question 1.
Yeah, man, let's do it. I guess we are an AEW based podcast after all. I think this is the first time we've started fully WWE. I dig it. So, Brad, first question for you. This was one of the tougher weeks ever for me to figure out what is the first topic we should get into. Because, my God, pal, another newsworthy week in AEW.
You think so? Yeah.
One of the more newsworthy weeks, I would argue, probably of the year. So, anyway, my first question for you. I think we have to start with Wednesday's Dynamite, specifically with the man in the Burberry scarf, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Brad, 2-part question for you. Was this one of the greatest promos you have ever seen? Ever. Not just since you got back into wrestling, but that you've ever seen in pro wrestling. That's question 1. Question 2, were we being worked this whole time?
I'll answer the second question first. No, we were not being worked the whole time. This is absolutely a problem they've had, or it wouldn't have lasted this long. There's no way they were like long-term storytelling it for 3 months that there was an issue in the back. They could do that in 2 weeks. This was rumor at first too, and it wasn't addressed on air until it got out of hand, and then it started getting addressed on air. Max really hamming it up with the airplane in the ring at Double or Nothing, which popped me huge. I thought that was so funny. For those of you that don't know, Max missed a meet and greet, and then there was a plane ticket scheduled for him to leave and potentially no show Double or Nothing. So when he showed up, he really leaned into it. To answer the first question, yes, this is an all-time promo. This is top three promo of all time. Wow. So here's people might argue that at the Austin 316 promo should go above it. No. What else do you remember about that promo? There's the spot in the center of that promo that nobody will ever forget, right? Mm-hmm. You thump your Bible, you say your prayers, talk about your Psalms, talk about your John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. What happened before that? What happened after it? Like I kind of remember because I've seen it 100 times. But other people might not. So
sure. Yeah.
I already remember this promo more than I remember that one. This one had stages and levels to it. This was a combination pipe bomb and Brian Pillman. It was those are the two that are also in the top 3. I don't care what order you put them in. The pipe bomb, the mic being cut off. They had that here. They couldn't lace my goddamn boots.
Pop, you know that popped me.
Oh, I got up. I was like, oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
It was, for me, this is the best promo I've ever seen because it's the only promo that I've ever seen live, first of all. It's the only one I've ever seen in real time. I saw the pipe bomb a year ago for the first time, maybe a year and a half ago, whatever it was. Yeah, so for me, it didn't have any of that kind of weight. And if it was on my timeline, I probably didn't care. And the Pillman promo I remember from way back, obviously. But I probably watched that when I was in high school on a tape, like an ECW's Greatest Hits or something. I don't know what it was.
VHS.
Yeah, it was VHS City, absolutely.
Yeah,
but
we remember.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I can't. This is an all-timer for me. I don't know where you put it. I don't know if it matters where we put it, but this is absolutely one of the best promos of all time.
For sure. And if I could go back in time, this is where I sneak in a final third part of this. If I go back in time, I definitely knew you were going to say it's an all-timer. I had that confirmed through our text. What was I think the better question that I should have given you was, what was your favorite part of it? Like you said, it had different stages and levels. Goddamn, none of these guys could lace my goddamn boots, these XWWE people. That popped us. What do you think was the best part that got you on Team Max? Because you saw, Brad, at the beginning of the promo, I think this speaks to its brilliance. The beginning of the promo, what would you say, 90% of the crowd was telling him to shut the fuck up?
Yes.
And then by the end, by the end, 90% of the crowd, maybe 100%, was cheering him, particularly when he made the point of Tony has all this money to sign these ex-WWE people who can't lace my goddamn boots.
He's been here from day one. He's 26 years old, been there from day one. What I
Grand
really
slams.
Loved,
I hate grand
loved
slams.
That. And I like somebody responded to him. I don't remember who it was, but it was, you can only hit grand slams if there are 3 other people that go up first. And I kind of like that as a way to say, hey, don't forget about the rest of us. But I can't say I disagree with anything he said. Or point out one lie that he told through that whole promo.
Those are the best heels when they have valid points.
I loved what he said to the crowd when they were cheering him. He said, I hear a lot of boos, but I hear some cheers too. That's interesting. Where were you this weekend when you were calling me an unprofessional piece of shit?
Yes. Dragon fire, man.
Yes, I loved that.
Wow.
My favorite part of the entire promo was, hey, would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy too? That got me. That got me fully invested when I was like, oh shit, is this real? Him calling Tony a fucking mark at the end.
Several times, right?
I think it was only once.
But the
fire
me,
you fucking mark. Yes. Fire me. And then they cut him off.
Can I just say the stray that the cameraman caught?
Yes.
Like
counting him down.
Right? Or counting him down.
Count me down, you piece of shit. Like, oh,
it's so unnecessary, but man, that was good. That was really good.
It was so good, so organic. I believed every word he said. He is incredible. We've been talking about how amazing he is since day one. There's not a single bad thing I have to say about MJF. No, even if he takes his gimmick too far outside of the ring and outside of the company, I don't care. I like that about him. And whatever. I hate that he missed the meet and greet. That part bothered me a little bit. Not because the fans missed, but because he screwed over one of his colleagues. And that part would really piss me off if I had to stay an extra 2 hours because my coworker didn't show up. I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's everything he did in that promo. I could have shut off the TV at that moment and been happy the rest of the month. That was that was so good.
Yeah.
As soon as we're done here, I'm going back to watch it again.
The dedication is real. I didn't think we were going to see him. I mean, it's so funny how that Double or Nothing post show that we recorded feels like so long ago. Because I, like many others, didn't think we would see MJF for several weeks. The dude took 10 power bombs and was stretchered off and given the oxygen mask.
Yes, over his eyes.
And then we get the word on social media, oh, MJF speaks on Dynamite. Like, just what a wild ride the last week has been, particularly in MJF's world here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they have to do now that the title's been vacated. I don't know what's going to happen with MJF. I don't know where this storyline goes.
Which I think
I did kind of, I just quickly did because I wanted to see. I believe the mask they gave MJF was over nose only. They usually don't do it over mouth in emergency circumstances, I believe. But I don't know. Maybe they just fucked it up. So I just, that popped me that everybody was like, I can't believe they put it over his eyes on the way out in Double or Nothing. But maybe it was just a rib to say nobody likes MJF, so let's just only give him half the oxygen. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
That'd be a solid rib.
Yeah. Glad to see he was upright after 10 power bombs. One of them that he took looked really ugly in Double or Nothing, and then the rest of them looked pretty good, but good in a bad way. First question for you. It's 10. It doesn't matter.
A lot of power bombs. No, thank you.
Okay, so Thunder Rosa. She's not happy with her screen time, allegedly. But she's also been out for 2 shows with an illness. Punk is injured. Excalibur tried to explain that the world title situation while setting up matches for next week while calling a match. I'm going to say that again. He tried to explain the world title situation while setting up matches for next week while calling a match. There's frustration backstage about a lack of structure, and some people enjoy it without structure, or had it for years and know how things work, so they don't need it as much. AEW is still very much a pirate ship, it seems. What does AEW need to do in order to tighten up the show, the way the company is run with talent in mind, etc.?
Great question. I'm so happy you mentioned Thunder Rosa. I was worried that we weren't going to be able to cover her, but I don't need to worry anymore. In my perfect world, Brad, is there an option for me to add a second hour to Rampage? Do I have that power?
It's whatever you think they have to do to tighten it up.
Okay.
And I don't know if go ahead.
I guess I'm taking the easy way out, and I want to add a fourth hour of programming. I really want an extra hour to Rampage. I don't want a 3-hour Dynamite, as wonderful as Dynamite can be. I think we just need more time for them. The roster is, like you said, I think Excalibur's moment is indicative of they're trying to fit so much in to these episodes, to Dynamite and Rampage, that I think so much gets lost in the shuffle, i.e. Thunder Rosa. You and I spoke pretty glowingly about her match with Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing.
Yes.
And then the following week, correct me if I'm wrong, Rampage included, we didn't get any Thunder Rosa. I believe the report is she's ill right now and wasn't able to be there. But correct me if I'm wrong. There was no video package. There was no spotlighting of her. We got some time for our TBS champion, Jade Cargill. We got Athena. I have a question for you about the women's tag match on Dynamite we saw. We'll get to it. But for Thunder Rosa to not be mentioned or spotlighted, I think is a real issue. But we had the return of Miro. We had the MJF promo. We had CM Punk on Rampage vacating the title. There's just a lot happening. And like you said, I think it speaks to perhaps not only a lack of time, but also a lack of structure. This company is 3 years old, and clearly, as fondly as we speak of it, there are some pretty glaring issues. And I think the roster is loaded. I think there's a lack of time. I'm going to, for now, Brad, for the sake of our listeners and viewers, go with let's add a second hour to Rampage. But I am almost certain that you have a more comprehensive, realistic way to solve this. So I'm all ears.
So I don't know that I think that solves Thunder Rosa's problem, but it doesn't solve this problem of the lack of structure. So I think right now there are people that know how to be creative, and there are people that need creative. And I don't know that people that need creative can thrive in an environment like that, but it's more management, logistics management, accountability management. Who is booking flights? Is it, I don't know. The fact that Samoa Joe had a mix up and he was overbooked for the meet and greet.
That's right. Hikaru Shida a few weeks ago, right?
Shida's problem getting back to the States in time and saying she's not medically cleared, which is true, but simply because she missed the cutoff time, that stuff can't happen. But not having a place to go to voice those frustrations, or to go to a person or personnel that are responsible for structuring and ordering the organizational stuff. I'm not sure that works. It seems from an outside perspective that TK is trying to run everything. And then he has his producers and those kinds of things on the inside doing certain things. But then talent is sort of in charge of other stuff, but independently. So seeing that Regal and Danielson are in the ring training every single day, and anybody that wants to go learn can go and train with them every single day, that's cool and all. But why isn't that required? Why isn't that the norm? Why isn't that standard protocol? Do they have a sign up for that? Who's running classes? Do they even do any of that stuff? I don't know. Because we have, like, Dustin's got his thing and Cody has his academy, and there's like 9 academies going on there. Plus there's Dean Malenko on staff. And like, there's so many different moving parts where it just seems like everybody's just doing fuck all to figure it all out, that I don't really know how to tighten that, because now we have talent being frustrated. Like you said, part of it is lack of time, but who is doing accountability checking and making sure that the time that is given is worthwhile, valuable time? Do I think Thunder Rosa should be getting 25 minutes a week on Rampage? No. Do I think she should get 10? Probably. She's the current champ. She should be getting 10 minutes on one of the shows at least. But I don't know. AEW's women's side of things currently has the same problem as WWE's entire championship picture. Who's in it? Like it's so. I just don't know how they tighten this up. I'm not down on the company whatsoever, but I've heard more complaints about the company than I ever have in the last 3 months than the entire run of the company to this point.
The honeymoon phase
Yes.
is over and has been over for a while, and as it should be. It's not brand new anymore. And like you said, Brad, if we are noticing this as just two schmucks watching from Arizona,
right,
you can imagine the talent, your
right,
women's world champion, and how she must be feeling. So yeah, man, those are great points, the logistics wise, and you brought up the Samoa Joe example, which was incredibly poignant. Yeah, man, there's just been some things that don't seem indicative of what this company could be and how great we think it could be. Like these are reminders that they're 3 years in and there are still some holes that need to be filled.
Yeah, and one of the things I was thinking of too is who is, if anybody, I know Doc Samson's there, but who is their personal trainer on staff? Do they have anybody? Because man, the injuries are racking up. And they seem to be not necessarily related to just things that are happening in the ring. So it's interesting, but we'll also get to that in a little while here. But before we do, Tyler, it is time for a return of a segment that I particularly love, a GI First Ep original segment. Tyler, you're going to give us a promo of the week. Take us away.
And now, the promo of the week.
So, Brad, I texted you. I don't even know that I texted you. I just updated our show flow Google Doc, letting you know that it was time for a promo of the week. I don't remember the last episode that had a promo, but it's been a minute, my dude. This is needed. You've persuaded me to rejoin Twitter, right? I've been on Twitter since, I don't know, what would you say? Maybe like October or November. I got back on for GI specific purposes and I haven't regretted it at all. It's been nice to be back on Twitter and to reconnect with you on there and meet all of the people in 19 Media Group and find old friends. And it's been a blast, man. But what has not been a blast about Twitter is how it seems to me that Twitter has become a place to be braggadocious and to take on the literal MJF persona of I'm better than you and you know it. Brad, I believe social media and Twitter in particular is at its best when we are sharing the art we create or sharing content that inspires or moves us or sharing the new Kehlani album, right? Like getting recommendations on movies and music. I'm still very excited for Nope, by the way, July 22nd, Jordan Peele. Anytime that appears on the timeline,
can't wait.
I'm happy. I'm stoked for that. What I don't get stoked for, though, is going on Twitter on a random Thursday and seeing people post about how much money they make or how big their new truck is. Brad, when did Twitter, you've been on there more than I have. I took my gap. When did Twitter become a dick measuring contest? I can't stand that. We are grown men. There are people out here. I'm going to be a little self-righteous. There are people out here who are not even people. A lot of us who are fighting serious issues like food insecurity and the housing market and just basic human rights, access to clean water. I mean, ensuring we have a planet to live on when Freya is our age, right? So on and so forth. Why are we boasting about money and frivolous things that don't really matter in the long run? It's become a dick measuring contest, and I don't like it at all. I'm gonna stay on the app, but there are parts of it that I don't like and that I don't quite understand.
You know how much I agree. You know this.
Take it away.
I said this the other day. I've seen way too many people just going like, look how awesome I am with all my shit. And it's like, why do you need to feel the need to put it out there? Is it because you're proud of it? Or is it just because you want to say, hey, look at this cool stuff I have? It's like, if I wanted to show this boat that I just bought, Arizona for some reason has the most boats per capita in the United States. It doesn't make any sense. So if I wanted to show you the new bass boat that I bought, because I love bass, and I take a picture of it and I put it online and like, bought a bass boat because I have money, I'm a dick. If I'm out there going like, I've put in so much overtime, I've worked really hard, really fortunate in my life to have the ability to do this while I know that people are struggling. Okay, you know what? I can swallow that pill. That's fine. You're acknowledging your hard work paid off. You are acknowledging that other people might be struggling and that you are blessed.
Now more than ever.
Now more than ever.
Yes, people have issues right now.
Filled up the new car the other day and it was like $78 and I was like,
right.
Jesus.
People
So
can't afford transportation, right?
yeah,
Basic needs.
so when people are like it's cool, like make all the money in the world. I don't care if you're rich. I have wealthy relatives. I have poor relatives. I don't care. Are you nice? I don't. That's all I care about. Like none of those people are putting that out there. My poor relatives aren't putting it out there that they're poor, and my wealthy relatives aren't just bragging about their wealth. They don't do that. They're simply not like that. They're have some goddamn humility. Now I'm on a promo. Pisses me off,
Yeah,
man.
I worked this into a shoot, man. We got 2 promos out of 1 segment.
I get really mad about it. It's like I'm gonna save it because there's so many people that have done this week that
Yeah.
I don't want to poop where I party, I guess is the best thing to say
Uh,
here.
That's I've never heard that before. I love that. I think your words and reflecting on my feelings just reminds me that uh, I don't know how you feel about this, but social media to me just isn't real.
No.
We use it and hopefully we enjoy it, and we can use it for personal reasons, for pseudo professional reasons, maybe both. I think like you and I try to do it our best, but ultimately it's not reality. It's just this sort of playground where we try to present the best versions of ourselves and the happiest and
Yeah.
the most perfect, but and it has its benefits, but I just think it's not reality. And I've had to remind myself of that, man, especially when we get into this, in my mind, this sort of game of one-upsmanship. Like, look how cool I am. I'm cooler than the average person.
Yes,
When
my
it's like
God.
you said, how do you treat people? Share the art you're creating or share what you're up to, and then let's keep it moving. I just don't. It just, to me, it really feels like a warped sense of reality, Brad. When I
It
was
is
younger,
totally
it was my bread and butter. It was how I determined a lot of my self-worth. But now with some perspective and life experience, I just realize I got to take this for what it is, which is it's fun, but it's not real.
I am writing something down right now to remind
Looks
me
like you're
later.
writing with a feather pen. Very, very
I
classy over there.
I was doing a little
Yeah, the
little,
posture.
little tippity tap. It's
We
because
we
my
we
back is destroyed. This chair is really cool. This chair is probably from the 1930s, 1940s. The one that I restored, the Tiger Oak chair. It is awesome. It's uncomfortable as hell. So my back is completely destroyed. Um, Listen, man, Be Real is my new favorite app. It's my favorite social media site because it got me this morning right before I will hold it up for those of you on YouTube. But see if I can pull it up anyway. Right before Frey and I threw down in the bedroom some wrestling action, caught us
Oh, I
at a
didn't know about that.
totally organic moment because
Beautiful.
the whole premise of the app is you don't get time to prepare. It'll pop up at a random point in the day. You have 2 minutes to take a picture of yourself wherever you are. 2 minutes. Doesn't matter what you're doing, doesn't matter what you look like. It's the whole point is be real. You can't prepare. You have to show your authentic self in your authentic environment. Like I had one in there when I was at Total Wine after the accident. I had one in there. It was like lots of stuff in the backyard or in the garage lately. But this is from today.
Oh man,
Really
that is glorious.
so good. She's
I
getting ready to
hope you
throw
will
a punch.
I hope you will consider sending me that.
And it takes a picture using both cameras.
Awesome.
So it'll get you from the front and from the back to show your surroundings.
That's
Um,
incredible.
I love this app, dude, because it's just you get to see your friends and your family sort of where are they in their life right now, rather than I got ready, I got all dressed up, I took a special picture, but this isn't what I look like on the day to day. So all that's fine. I whatever, live your life. I don't want to see it. It's a box of lies, but um like this is literally my birthday outfit right now that I'm wearing from my 40th. I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing a short beard and a New Day t-shirt. That was it. So I appreciate the authenticity. I'm with you, man. Like just stay humble. I have last thing, and then we'll move on to your second question as we are on your question too. We're 40 minutes deep. Um, I had a friend that is not a religious person at all, that very quietly, without any bragging, spent a lot of time volunteering at the food bank and never wanted credit, never posted about it. Just in the summer when they weren't teaching, would be at the Marana Food Bank helping people out and never said a peep to anybody about it. Didn't want people
Wow.
to know. That's the kind of humility you can have. You can take that money that you earned and put it to good use somewhere. You don't have to spend all of it, but like, do you need all of that? I love what Pat McAfee said about getting that huge amount of money. He's like, at a certain point, there's only so much money you can have before you're like, well, what do I do with all this money? I don't need all of that. And then you can spread the love to other places. And I think it's so important. I'm not anywhere near that. The podcast game here, not making us a ton of bank. And our post show really did number last week. So we're not going to be rolling around in stacks of cash at any point here in the near future,
In
but
the immediate future, right?
yes, but it's
Long
coming.
term, different
It's
story.
long term. It's
Yeah.
taking over.
Let's go.
All right, Tyler, it's time for your question too.
Yeah, man, really cool to hear about your Miranda friend, by the way, or colleague. I aspire to be like them. That's awesome. So, question 2, Brad. Again, we have so much to cover here, but I want to stick to what I have originally scheduled as my number 2. So on Dynamite this week, really fun women's tag match. Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker DMD
So good.
against Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. I really, really enjoyed this. My question for you: does Ruby's victory make up for her loss at Double or Nothing?
No, no,
Not at all. She
not
got
at
the
all.
victory. That was a good look.
She
Made
got
me
the pin
happy.
over. She got the pin over Britt, which should not have happened. Her getting the victory over Jamie would have made a lot more sense, because what does that say about Britt's win? So it's you sort of unravel that sweater that's over there. They found a way to creatively 50-50 book that. That's the way that I looked at it. I hated it. I didn't hate that she got the win. I'm glad she got the win. She needed the win and she needed to give the pin. But what does that mean for Britt if Ruby's pinning Britt, but she couldn't the other night? I don't know. I don't love that. I would have rather have seen her pin Jamie if she was going to get the win, or Tony pin Jamie, but we already saw that. So it feels like Ruby finally got the pin over Britt, but it was in a tag match, so it doesn't count. So I don't know, man.
Not the
I'm
same
glad
as winning at Double or Nothing.
it is absolutely not the same as winning at Double or Nothing.
I just can't believe
Winning,
they had Rancid play Ruby out the whole
she
song,
lost.
and she like
They
how-
bait and switched us hard.
man.
And
I thought that was going her way. I haven't recovered.
I thought Britt was going to win as soon as I saw her gear.
Yeah, you did call that. You texted me.
Yeah,
that. You did.
And then when Adam came out, I was like, damn it. Why are they telegraphing this? Simply don't allow it. Everybody needs to be wearing black and pink if they're going to do that. I did hear, I don't remember who it was. I think might have been on Busted Open, the black and pink colors, by the way. They thought it was weird that black and pink was everywhere, but all of the footage they showed wasn't from WWE, so they couldn't show any of his black and pink because he wasn't wearing any of it in any of the other places he was. So that was awkward, I think, a little bit. But were you going to do the black and green? That would have been weird. So
yeah, no, they made the right call. Those are the two colors most synonymous with them.
Absolutely. So anyway, what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think I was higher on it than you. I was really happy that Ruby got
I
it.
love the
And really
match.
that
Absolutely love the
yeah.
match. Don't
Oh
get me
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. Match ruled and for me too, you and I, for better or worse, I think our enjoyment of matches often relies heavily on how hot the crowd is or
Oh,
lack thereof.
great
That
crowd.
LA crowd,
Oh
although
boy.
I am very envious that they got a show and Arizona
Yeah.
somehow
Yeah.
is not on the upcoming show list for AEW Dynamite or
All
nor
right,
Rampage.
I'm tweeting him right
I
now.
just it has to happen at some point. I just don't get it. That LA crowd was super hot, man. They were into this match, and I really loved Ruby getting the win. So I'm higher on it than you. But in terms of long term, what does this mean for Ruby? Unfortunately, I can't confidently say that this definitely propels her into she's going to have a prominent spot. She's going to be a potential challenger for maybe Thunder Rosa's belt. I'm not there yet. It's nowhere near the same as her beating Britt one-on-one at Double or Nothing, but I was just happy that she was on the winning team. She picked up the victory. I like her so much and I want good things for her. So that made me happy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I'm glad that she got the win. She needed the win, and I thought the
She
match was
did.
great.
She did.
I want to see
But
her
it's
pick up.
50-50.
Yeah, I want to see her pick up a singles victory.
Yeah.
I don't. This isn't my question, but where does she go next?
Right. I mean, to me, Jamie Hayter versus Britt Baker is an all-out
Pay-per-view
worthy
city.
match.
It's
I
happening.
think much like Wardlow and MJF,
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Jamie Hayter is an absolute star, and this is the feud that is going to propel her into she's one of the top women in this company. She's not just on the roster. She is that.
Top
She's
10.
that woman.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That would be my all-out match for
babyface,
for them.
badass, destroyo, Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter needs to wrestle at Forbidden Door. I think Jamie Hayter did time in Stardom, and
that sounds right. Yeah.
she will absolutely beat the ever living shit out of somebody if that person is there for it. And I want to see it. I was up for Jamie Hayter against everybody. Jamie and Tony, because Tony, I don't know what it is about NXT UK, but good God, those people lay their stuff in. So
yeah, Jamie versus
Jamie
Tony is just madness.
Yes.
So good. Future title match. Maybe in 2023.
Man, I can't say enough good things about Jamie Hayter. I'd like to see her on the mic more. I don't even know.
Oh, for sure.
She's had smaller spots here and there. But I can't wait to see what happens with her. Hopefully they give her a raise so she could get some different ring gear. Feels like she's been wearing the same ring gear for the entire year, maybe a little bit over that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it just seems like a lot of the, I don't want to call them developmental wrestlers, but the wrestlers that didn't come from WWE or have an established background tend to have their one set of gear.
Right.
Like even it was John Silver, right? Like he got gear from Brody to wear out there. And I think that's awesome, but that he had to get it from Brody to get the gear. So that might be
exactly.
part of the thing that we got to do to, or that AEW has to do to tighten it up. I know what doesn't need tightening up though, Tyler. 19 Media Group. You know why? Because we're about to give everybody the info on the state of 19 Media. Let's go.
And now it's time for the state of the biz.
Small Town USA is back and better than ever. In the latest episode, Jess and Carmen visit the small town in Connecticut, discussing ghosts and enjoying some local news stories.
The Late Night Lake Show has also made an epic comeback, Brad. Check out their latest episode as Ricky, Kwame, and Omar provide their thoughts on the Lakers hiring Darvin Ham.
Mo, friend of the show and 19 Media co-owner, dropped off a new episode of Hidden Gems Golf. Tap in as he shares his thoughts of the PGA Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio. Only good part of Ohio.
Always pops me.
Go
we love you, Ohio. I love you. Quite possibly the biggest hoops fan in Tucson, Arizona is back with fresh content. Check out our dude Jabari Davis and his NBA Finals File podcast, a new project he's launched with multi-time NBA champion Robert Horry. They break down the 2016 NBA Finals matchup between the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers on their latest episode. That was a fun one.
You can now listen to the 4th official episode of the Jab Step with JP. Special guest Chris Barnett of Hoop Spaces joins the show to break down the current finals matchup pitting the Golden State Warriors against the Boston Celtics.
Speaking of hoops and speaking of JP, you can also check out his other show, Dunk Tales. He and James will release episodes after every NBA Finals game, analyzing the intense action on the court and the storylines from off.
The Orlando Magic secured the #1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft. In the latest episode of Close Up Magic, superfans Stephen and Malik take a deep dive in Orlando's roster and discuss draft prospects with Richard Stamen of Locked On Draft.
And then finally, shout out to the one and only Mike Steff, former GI guest and fellow podcaster. You can check out his show, The Salty Thoughts. Apologies, Mike. The Salty Thoughts. I can do this. Of Donnie Yu for detailed, passionate commentary on the latest news in sports, professional wrestling, and New York politics. You will not regret it.
Man, this was one of the worst. Well, we crushed it like 2 weeks in a row. I don't remember the name of the small town. I remember the name of the episode for Small Town USA.
I do as well. Something about seamen.
Yes. But multiple small towns. I said small town of Connecticut and stumble instead of small towns.
You said it. Embrace the mess.
Embrace the mess.
Yes. We love our colleagues.
Speaking of messes, the injuries. Question 2. Cody, Punk, Cole, Danielson, Scorpio Sky. All of them are injured. Sasha and Naomi are still gone. The former Cesaro and Bray Wyatt, as of this moment, still not on a roster. That might change tonight. What does summer look like for both companies in terms of growth or regression? And who comes out of this summer having benefited or losing the most?
Wow. Yeah, injuries are glaring right now, Brad. I think first for WWE, when there are injuries there, I think it's even more glaring than AEW because the roster has been so, I don't know if you would use this word, but it's kind of dramatic, but so gutted over the last, since the pandemic started, they've just cut so many, let's say employees, so many of their independent contractors that when someone such as Cody could potentially, I guess we'll find out soon, could potentially miss several weeks, that's a huge hit to their programming. And he's filled an incredibly important role. So if he's gone for 3 to 6 weeks, selfishly, I hope this doesn't interfere with him being in Tucson for the house show. I would be very bummed if this means we don't get to see him in a month. But his spot has been invaluable. We talked about this at the beginning of the episode. Who takes Cody's spot as arguably the top babyface on the men's side in the company? I don't know who is. Would we consider Kevin Owens a babyface? Again, I haven't really watched since WrestleMania. Right. I know he's facing Ezekiel, Matt Elias, at Hell in a Cell. I guess Kevin Owens obviously is plug and play, but it's glaring to me WWE. In AEW, man, this is a really important summer. I thought we were getting summer of Punk and summer of heel Punk. We know that's not the case, unfortunately. He shared that he is stepping away. I think it was reported, Brad, that it's a foot injury. I think we know that pretty well. Mm-hmm. We don't know the official diagnoses, but we know that he's definitely banged up.
Yeah, if it's surgery, it's either something broken that needs a plate, which doesn't sound like that's probably what it is. It's probably torn ligaments or something.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good regardless.
Whatever it is, it's not good. No.
It's not. That sounds very painful. Yeah, man. So even if I could just shift to AEW, and hopefully I'm answering your question and not just rambling, but this summer, I think for AEW is going to look so much different at the top of the men's side with Punk being out. Maybe we'll get to this episode, maybe another episode, but I would presume that Mox is going to be champion at the end of this month. And that's going to be fun. And we're going to get a Mox championship reign with the crowd, which we did not get during his first reign. But I think AEW really needs to hit on all cylinders this summer because I think your expectations, my expectations, all of the CM Punk fans out there were huge for what this summer could look like. So it's incredibly important. Right. And I just want all of these pro wrestlers, no matter the company. We can even throw Impact in there and NWA and New Japan. I just want them to be healthy and to work safely. I think we're just reminded constantly, Brad, that as much as we, for lack of a better term, mark out for some of the spots that look so snug, we just have these reminders all the time that, man, this sport is incredibly brutal. Like they really do sacrifice their lives for us every time we watch them on TV, which I don't think we can lose sight of.
Tyler, I was trying to find it here quickly. This includes NXT, so I don't know how many people are on the main roster, probably 100 plus. There are currently 248 WWE superstars if you count NXT and the main roster. The fact that they're struggling to find stars in a roster with 100 plus people on it is a testament to how poorly booked all of their shows have been. When they want to build a star, they can do it in a couple of weeks. I feel like they're trying to do it with Riddle, and I think they'll get there because Riddle is over as all get out. Like people are buying his merch like crazy. That people love him in the crowd. He's making money, so I think they can do it. But man, the tag team division is just such a joke. Some of the best tag teams ever, and there's like 3. And that's it. And the women's tag got put on the shelf because they don't have any tag teams. And
right, we haven't even spoken about Sasha and Naomi. Like
all I did was
just not there.
I brought them up in the question, and that's it. So I'm in agreement with you. This summer is AEW's to lose. I think it's going to be an incredibly important summer, especially with Forbidden Door on the horizon, that they can either grow an audience, maintain an audience, or lose an audience. I have a feeling they're going to just maintain. They're sort of in this space where we know what we're going to get, and we know it'll be quality. It'll be good storytelling. It'll be different. But for the most part, they're consistent. I've only been disappointed in maybe 1 or 2 episodes of any of their shows. And then one finale of a pay-per-view with Sparklers. But everything else is
never forget.
What came out of that? What are the greatest
Kingston and Mox.
One of the greatest vignettes.
We need them together again at some point as a tag team. I love Mox and Danielson, but there's something very special about Mox and Kingston. The Wild Things, as I would call them.
Well, they got to do it this week, or last week, whatever it was. So, man.
If I can interject, Brad, you because I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring this up in question 3. You're speaking of tag team wrestling, and although we know in WWE it never really truly feels valued or as valued as we want it to be, man, AEW just put on an absolute banger. The Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. I don't know that I have a question related to them, but I just need to spend 30 seconds or less with you just agreeing that match was amazing. The crowd was into it. The moves these dudes were executing. Speaking of moves that look incredibly risky, man, that was, they just delivered. Again, they did it all out in that cage match. Then they had an absolute banger to open Rampage. Tag team wrestling, when it's done well, it remains my favorite thing.
Hands down. Now it's not even close for me. Like the only thing I could say is if you have like a fatal 4-way, where you have a bunch of guys interacting at the same time or a bunch of women interacting at the same time, I love it. I tend to enjoy men's tag team wrestling more than women's simply because we've had 2 really good women's tag teams that I can remember in the last couple of years, and they were awesome, and they broke them up or fired them. For the love of God, the Iconics, the Riot Squad, great tag teams, great in-ring performers, incredible chemistry, broke them up. So I haven't really enjoyed the women's tag stuff because it doesn't really feel like a tag team when you just hodgepodge things together. Anna Jay and Ty Conti, okay. Penelope and the Bunny, okay. They're fun. That brutal match was awesome. But after that, who do you have? It's hard to enjoy it long term when there's not enough tag teams. So I understand why AEW talking about having a women's tag belt. I don't think they should. Not yet. They got to get that division in order first.
Yeah. And again, going back to time, like
Yeah. Where do you
If
put
you're
it?
adding that, you're taking
Yeah.
time from someone else, and
Yeah.
you get 3 hours a week on television.
But
I don't
tag
know if that
teams and trios matches and 10 mans and all of that stuff are a great way to get talent on the screen.
for sure.
Especially during the weekly product. So I totally get it because it's got to be so complicated because you have all these employees and you have to put out an entertaining product. But if Punk isn't on the screen or Danielson's not on the screen or the people that are really drawing aren't on your screen because you're giving time to other talent, do you sacrifice Brian Danielson match because Alex Reynolds hasn't gotten time? And I love Alex Reynolds,
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. You don't. You got 2
there's
more
no
years
way.
with Danielson. You got to
Y-
maximize.
Yeah, you take
Ideally,
all
2
the
to 3
Danielson,
years.
all
You
the
got to
Danielson you could,
maximize.
yes, all of
Have
it
to.
that you could possibly get. Um,
Yes.
Plus, people are there for it, but people are
Yeah.
there for Jungle Boy. I feel like less so
Yes.
right
Huge
now.
star reaction.
Um,
Yes.
But Darby, his music plays. Darby's lost like so many matches straight that nobody cares because Darby rules. Darby rules. He's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
crowd loves him.
And
So
you can't have Double or Nothing without him. Hence, we got O'Reilly versus Darby at the 11th hour.
yes, and listen, man, that tag team match was maybe the best match in Rampage history. I can't think of one that was better on Rampage anyway. Maybe that Kenny Omega Christian Cage match was pretty great. But I wouldn't put it
Yeah.
above this.
Shout out to our good friend, voice of GI, Alf Bergeson, for raising this point.
Yeah.
It's hard to. I didn't do my full Rampage research, but that match, I don't think there's any match in Rampage history that is surpassing Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks. Maybe it's same tier, same level, but I don't think there's one that's passing it, man. I know Andrade, Darby, Sammy had a banger of a triple threat. From what I can remember, I think it was around the winter time when Andrade should have won the TNT belt, by the way. But man, that tag match just absolutely blew me away. That was so fun. And final thing I want to mention, you were talking about injuries. Scorpio Sky, super bummed, man. Clearly he was injured during that match against
That
Dante
landing.
Martin. Yeah. Just so early on, the match was just obviously not what it could have been given what happened to Scorpio. But that's someone else who I think he tweeted that it's not. He hopes to be back soon.
Yeah.
But still, man, that's another injury to one of your
Another
top
champion.
champions, and it's just sad. And I hope these men and women will be able to come back, and we just got to appreciate every time we see them. I think, Brad, because it's never a guarantee that they're walking away unscathed.
Jade's the only one that's 100% right now. Thunder Rosa is sick. Scorpio Sky injured. Punk injured. It's crazy right now what's happening over there. Hopefully Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus can hold on. Because good Lord, everybody else is down. If you want to count an Owen Cup winner, Adam Cole is injured. So it's just crazy right now what's happening over there.
Yeah, it makes.
I guess Ricky Starks is still doing okay. So
love Ricky. Yes,
yeah.
It makes me sad. But Brad, something that makes me very happy and really helps when I am feeling down is my favorite segment featured on Gimmick Infringement. Someday when you have kids. Brad, the floor is yours.
And now it's time for
I'm crazy.
Someday
Someday.
when you have kids.
You're crazy.
We haven't done this one in a while. Tyler, someday when you have kids, you're going to understand how difficult it is simply trying to get things done. You will have a helper. I know I've talked about this before. You will have your kid. You will be sure, or you will at least question whether or not they have ADHD. I don't care what age they are, 3, 4, whatever. It's, hey, I need you to go put on your shoes. Cool, I'm going to go put on my shoes. And then they come out with 3 stuffed animals. No shoes in sight. We have to leave right now. Come on. You want to help me clean up the room? Cool. Come on in. Help me clean up the room. Taking out bins, putting stuff away, turn around, shit's all over the floor. Because while they were putting stuff into the bins, they discovered new stuff. And new stuff's now all over the floor. Oh yeah, but I just wanted to play for a second. Trying to get anything done is really difficult. I want to go get yard work done. Okay, but I'm going to stay in here. Yeah, I don't believe that can happen right now. Because last time you painted your nails, but you used real nail polish and you did it on the carpet. Someday, Tyler, you will discover the difficulty in simply trying to get things done, but you'll also be rewarded with the fact that they will try. Man, do they try. Freya tries so hard. She gets out her fake vacuum cleaner to vacuum with us. She likes to sweep. She likes using the handheld vac if there's anything that needs to be cleaned. She loves that stuff. So at the same time, it just takes a little longer. But I'd rather it take longer and have her be with me and be invested and have fun with it and have her enjoy the process. And it makes trying to get things done a little bit rewarding. If not all the time, not frustrating. But someday when you have kids, you'll discover this for yourself.
I love it, Brad. The nail polish, I kind of winced there, but I think I had my fair share of, marker accidents, quote unquote. And, I was a little nefarious sometimes, but I love that you had this silver lining. There's always a silver lining, my dude. And especially with Freya. I mean, she's just too cute for there not to be a positive outcome.
I know I'm biased here, but she's the best.
Well, Brad, I have my final question for you. I know we've covered a lot of ground. We're an hour and 5 minutes in, absolute sprint city. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this one, man. So going back to your point about Punk stepping away, and we are going to have an interim AEW World Champion crowned at Forbidden Door. I'm not even sure I fully processed how this is going to play out, Brad, but let me just run you through my understanding, and then I'm going to hit you with my question. So this Wednesday on Dynamite, we know that Moxley, being the number one contender, he is going to be in the main event, I believe, to challenge the winner of a battle royal to start the show. And whoever wins that battle royal faces Mox in the main event. Whoever wins that match goes to Forbidden Door to challenge for the interim world title. That's correct, right?
So yes, battle royal at the beginning.
Took me a while to figure this out.
Yes, so battle royal. Whoever wins fights Mox in the main event. Winner of that faces the winner of Tanahashi and somebody else, and I can't remember.
It's going to be
Tanahashi. Yeah, it's absolutely going to be Tanahashi. I'm really hoping that it's Mox Tanahashi.
Yeah.
But if it's not, it needs to be Danielson.
Wow.
I will accept nobody else. Maybe Lance Archer, actually. I would actually be okay with Lance Archer against Tanahashi. I think that could be really fun.
I can't tell if you're being facetious. For real.
Dead ass serious.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think it'll be Hangman because Hangman's wrestling this week in a different match.
Okay, let me interject then. Here is my question. So looking at the top 5 ranked men, we have Jon Moxley in no particular order, even though Mox is one. We have Jon Moxley, we have Hangman Adam Page, Adam Cole Bebe, Wardlow, and Jay Lethal. I want to push Jay Lethal to the side. I want to talk about the other 4 guys. You and I agree that it appears the end goal of this is going to be Mox versus Tanahashi, and I would argue Mox probably ends up winning at Forbidden Door and becomes champ for the second time. Or not. And let me know your thoughts on that. I want to know, though, if not Mox, because I think he's definitely winning. If not Mox, who would you want to put the belt on? Hangman, Adam Cole, or Wardlow? Danielson excluded.
I think Adam Cole excluded. He's injured. I don't know how injured, and I don't know how much of that is at work. His shoulder was all taped up for his match. And then when who had to step out? I don't remember who it was in the 10-man. And they got replacements.
Yeah. It wasn't it Hikuleo?
Yeah,
stepped in for him?
Right, but who stepped in on the other side, or who was out on the other side? I can't remember who was hurt. Somebody was in there and then got removed.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was. Right. Anyway, somebody else was injured, so they couldn't do it. And man, it's really going to bug me. So in any case, it may not be he's really injured, but he might just be resting. So I don't know. I don't know who else is in this battle royal. So
Yeah.
shit, if it was going to be anybody, I'd like to see Takeshita, to be honest with you. Just for the
Could do
sheer
no wrong.
match. Takeshita
Yeah.
against Tanahashi. Oh my God, sign me up.
Well, we didn't even talk about the Redeemer, Miro. How are we
Yeah,
an hour and 8
so-
minutes? Maybe this is your third question, but Miro is back, and I want him in this conversation.
Miro is who I would like to see go if it's any of the guys on the list. I don't want it to be Adam Cole. I just don't. I don't know how you are feeling about Adam Cole in AEW, but I feel like a lot of that shine is gone from NXT.
Wow.
I don't feel like he's bad. He is not the star he was in NXT, even though I feel like he's
It's hot.
not even at all. You can't
Really?
possibly tell me that at Undisputed Era Adam Cole is
Sure.
not a
It's different.
bigger star in NXT. It's so different because he's the guy in NXT. He's not the guy in AEW. There's so many other guys. He's at that level, I think. I think he's at the level of everybody except maybe I don't even know who right now. Punk would have been above him right now. Maybe not work wise, but star wise. Danielson's above him work wise and probably star power wise. He's not NXT Adam Cole because he's not in NXT. He's in AEW. I've loved his work so far, but I don't want to see him do that. Too many belt attempts already. I don't want to see that. So I want to see him be champ within the next year, to be honest with you, TNT or the main belt. But I don't want to see it at Forbidden Door. But I kind of feel like that might be the one. So here are the people that I'm thinking: Hangman, Adam Cole, even though Hangman can't get it, Moxley, Lance Archer. That's it. That's my list. Other than Danielson, who I don't know if he's competing in the Battle Royal. Because if it comes down to Danielson Moxley again, sign me up. But here's why I'm not convinced it'll be anybody else. Tanahashi really wanted to wrestle CM Punk. That was like his bucket list thing he tweeted out a while ago. He really wanted to wrestle him now that he was back. All the other guys have New Japan relationships. They've all wrestled over there. Some of them are in Bullet Club or have been in Bullet Club. Like, it just feels like having a New Japan talent that's currently in AEW wrestle Tanahashi makes all the sense in the world. The Japanese crowd will be familiar with them. It just makes too much sense from a business standpoint to have somebody that they might be familiar with, but somebody that maybe they haven't seen in a while. Moxley's wanted to wrestle Tanahashi forever, and I think Mox Tanahashi makes the most sense. It's the biggest names. It's the one that I feel like needs to happen. But but here's what I think might happen, man. I think TK drops the belt to Tanahashi. I think that Tanahashi takes the AEW belt, and how many IWGP champions have we had in AEW?
Yeah.
I can absolutely.
I would be surprised, but I would not hate this at all.
I would be shocked as well. I really hope it happens. I really hope it happens, because then you still get CM Punk versus Tanahashi when he comes back. Yeah. You get Tanahashi in AEW TV on occasion. So I feel like that's such a great story. It writes itself, right? Because it eliminates it eliminates AEW talent from being able to compete for it, but I don't care. I want to see this. I want this, man. So I'm going to go Mox.
Yeah.
Tanahashi wins at Forbidden Door.
Wow. And
we'll save that for the prediction show.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of Alf, we're definitely going to have Alf on for that. It's just interesting to me, last thing, that you and I agree, as high as we are on this dude's upside, we completely agree that Wardlow is not yet the dude for that spot. We have fantasy booked him being TNT champion and restoring all the luster there. But I will tell you, man, seeing Miro back, seeing the entrance in LA, in my perfect world, I love Scorpio. I hope he heals soon. Miro getting that TNT title back, Brad. I thought I wanted him propelled to the heavyweight championship, but man, the idea of Miro reclaiming that TNT belt and just running roughshod is so appealing to me. I'm so happy that dude is back on our TV screens. I don't know if you popped as big as I did, Brad, but man, when he was the challenger to face Johnny Elite, my heart was just so full. The horns are back. It's
when
just
the
it's
vignette
beautiful.
when the vignette
Yes,
started,
the
I
vignette,
yelled.
the promo. What did he say? I'm
I
going to go through Cowboys. I'm going to go through
all of it.
Shakespearean.
It was incredible. I really hated the placement. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, they should have saved that for this week on Dynamite if they didn't have him on the show. I would have loved to have seen, or next week on Rampage. Like, give us his intentions after he's back, because, dude, having Johnny Elite come out and then the horns play would have been so much better than a promo and then the horns, because it kind of ruined the
Yeah, it
surprise.
was a little weird. It was a little
Yeah,
weird.
I did
agree.
not care for that at all, but I was still yelling. Incredible promo, but I was so happy I missed the first part of it because I was like, "Let's go!" Jess came in and gave me a
and
weird
he does
look when she walked in. Yeah, it was
of
really weird.
course. He
Yeah,
does
very
the run
awkward.
out, and it's just like, man, this dude, like you were saying
Oh,
about
the slow saunter out into the stage and then the run in the. It's so
yes.
good.
And before I hear your question 3, I know I keep interjecting with this, man. You were talking about Adam Cole, and he was that dude in NXT, and then coming to AEW, coming to AEW, there are people who are just above him. Now that Miro's back, man, I mean, maybe I'm just an absolute mark for the guy, but
Yeah,
I
he's a good
think that
worker.
he is someone who I personally think he is someone who is on Cole's level, or perhaps even leapfrogs him. That's how much I believe in what the Redeemer can do on the mic and in the ring. Just the whole presentation
completely agree.
is incredible.
Completely agree. And I love Adam Cole. Like this
I
is
love
the
Adam
problem
Cole.
with it. It's like, if I say something like this, people that listen to this might think I'm criticizing Adam Cole, and I'm like, I'm freaking not. It's sort of
You love him.
It's attitude era talent. Like, everybody is popular, everybody is
so
over,
good.
and everybody is good. The attitude era was great because all the characters were good, not because the storylines were great. The storylines weren't great. A lot of them were bullshit. Distraction finishes constantly, bunch of DQs. Lots of it was the stuff that we criticize now.
Yeah.
But
we romanticize that period. Great.
Yes, because the characters were all good.
Yeah, stars.
They got a porn star over. They got a pimp over. They had the Road Dogg coming out with Billy Gunn, and all they did was the same shtick on the way to the ring every time. You get the punches in the ring and the little shimmy, and then a famouser, and that's kind of the whole match, and that's all you get. Mankind coming out in a mask. Mick Foley got a sock over, for Christ's sake. So the character work there was just
that he did.
You had two of the biggest stars of all time were the biggest stars of all time at the same time. That simply does not happen. So when I look at the AEW roster, they've managed to build all these stars. Hangman Adam Page, I know people are down on him because he's not like this already known established character. I don't get it, man. He had the best title run of anybody so far. And I loved his match with Punk. It was a little slower than his other ones. His other ones were like just adrenaline fueled, but this one, the psychology in it was so damn good. It was incredible. So you just have Adam Cole, Hangman Adam Page, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Miro, Wardlow, MJF, Darby Allin. You have all of this talent, and I'm missing tons of people here.
Keith Lee,
Swerve Scott, Hobbs,
future
Starks,
individual champions, I believe. Yes,
Hook,
yes,
freaking Danhausen.
Hook is just sitting there. Yeah,
you have all these people that are like all up here right now because of how they've built them. Where in the E, it's sort of like you have this range, right? And
yes, it's true.
I love what they're doing now with Madcap Moss, but Baron Corbin still sucks since he's been Happy Corbin.
And that's a match that's on the Hell in a Cell card.
Again, because we've had it 25 times now. Like, I'm so sick of this repetitive shit. Like, end the goddamn feud already.
Yeah.
It's been 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of the same thing.
Why is Corbin versus Moss on this show, but
not in a Hell in a Cell.
Right, and Gunther versus Ricochet is saved for Friday. Like, give me Gunther versus Ricochet on Hell in a Cell, and I will watch, Brad. Like, I think that match is going to be the selling that Ricochet is going to do for Walter, Gunther, whatever we're calling him. Like, that match, I'm fearful that Ricochet is going to drop the belt, but that is a match that I will have to go back to SmackDown and watch.
I will go out of my way if they do Gunther versus Sheamus. Like, do you understand how much they're going to beat the shit out of each other in that match if they have that match? Those guys do
Yeah.
not hold back.
Sign me up. No,
Yes. But Sheamus is like this goofy like mob boss character now that's like Butch's handler. It's dumb. Anyway, question 3. It took a minute to get there. Listeners, viewers, if you're still with us, thank you. Question 3. Right now, Mox is the only member of the Blackpool Combat Club that is either healthy or in the country. He also has a planned GCW coming up too, and event coming up too, and who knows what happens there. One light tube in the wrong place, it could be over. He's the current number 1 contender and is slated for a challenger position on the Forbidden Door card if he wins. We assume he will. What happens in or with the Blackpool Combat Club if he wins or loses?
Yeah, I think he stays, Brad, unquestionably. That there's so much that this group, I believe.
I don't think he's leaving.
Okay.
What happens? But what happens within it, or
okay,
interaction wise, win or lose doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me to envision that him winning the title would start to sort of plant the seeds that maybe there's some disagreement in the group, like maybe Danielson. Maybe we go back to the Danielson Moxie, like Danielson thinks I'm better than you, and I'm gonna take that title. Envisioning Mox with the championship, Blackpool Combat Club. Man, first things first, I think we get an additional member to the group. I would love to see a woman added. I love when we have intergender stables. I know you're going to love this. Jamie Hayter seems like the absolute slam dunk choice for the group. To do it. So my answer to you, and then exactly. We know she loves to do it. So I think that absolutely we need the Britt versus Jamie Hayter match at some point this year, ideally in the fall, if not sooner. I really want that to take time, though. I don't want it immediately. So I think Jamie Hayter gets added to Blackpool Combat Club. I really wanted Lee Moriarty in the group. I don't know. At some point, you don't want it to become NWO, where the group just has, a ridiculous amount of people. So I'm going to say Jamie Hayter gets added. Mox is the champ. And man, I really think that next step would be they have another group they feud with. I don't know who that group is yet. Maybe that's where we get House of Black. I don't know if the numbers add up quite correctly. Math is hard for me generally, but especially at this moment on air. But I think Mox would be champ and they would start a feud with a new group. Brad, you can't tell me that a championship match between Mox and Malachi Black wouldn't rule. Give me that. I'm going to say Jamie Hayter gets added. Mox becomes really the face of the group, and we get an eventual House of Black versus Blackpool Combat Club, Mox versus Malachi. That is my prediction. What's
listing all of those names earlier? I can't believe we forgot the entire House of Black. All of them.
House of Black, right?
We didn't list any of them. Buddy Matthews, I'd love to see him really doing anything. That dude just walking around shirtless enhances the show. That Brody King, just a massive man. I'd love to see Malachi Black fight John Moxley. I think it could be great. I'm with you, man. Like I feel like the natural feud there is eventually House of Black. I think they need to add a female talent to the roster.
Yes,
we could get some intergender stuff. Who knows what happens? Jamie Hayter is the person. It has to be the person. It's as obvious and predictable as Rhea going to Judgment Day. But I just give that to me right now. So Malachi Black versus John Moxley, or for that matter, Andrade versus John Moxley. I'd take either of them right now. Andrade, hopefully he's back soon. We need to have that dude back on the roster, on the card. I know he's out because he got married to Charlotte Flair, which is awesome. Congratulations. We know he's an avid listener. This is it's pretty cool. So let's see what happens over the summer. I don't even know. We don't even know who's challenging for what yet. Who? Pixelated legs.
Yeah, I'm super. I am super I'm just gonna talk and hopefully it doesn't ruin everything. I am super fired up for it, Brad. I think Blackpool Combat Club is money. I think House of Black is incredible. I need it now. I'm gonna be very disappointed if we don't get it. It's Pixelated City, so I think I'm just gonna close us out, Brad. You want? Okay, I can see your head nodding. We're live. Okay, let's do it, Brad. This was a blast. I hope our listeners and viewers enjoyed it as much as we did. Please follow Brad. You will not regret it. He is at Winduster on Twitter. I am at Tyler J. McDowell. We are at GIPod19. As always, got to give a shout out to the mighty 19 Media Group. They are at 19M Group on Twitter. Check out their work. We spotlighted some of our colleagues earlier. They are doing incredible, creating incredible art, and they are definitely worthy of your time and your eyeballs. Brad, this was a blast. Those are our plugs. GimmickInfringementPod.com, 19mediagroup.com. We hope that you will join us on the next episode. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.